welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. Hey, how's it going? Unknown Girl. Wow, it's been a while. And Hypno, good to see you. Thanks for modding for the Upturned table last week. That was much appreciated. So a little bit late, a little bit late this week. So still sticking with the Monday night, Tuesday afternoon kind of schedule. But yeah, it's been a little crazy weather-wise. That was the reason for the big delay. We didn't end up streaming until after 7 p.m. on Friday. It's usually like a lunchtime thing. But there was crazy kind of torrential rain. I forget, they measure in millimeters, I think. But the amount of rain that fell, like in a 12-hour period, was really crazy. So there was a lot of problems with the train lines, and my daughter's school was canceled, and a lot of chaos. Yeah, there was they showed a lot of the train stations, like the gate area when you go through. It's just water was just pouring through the ceilings of the train stations, and I guess getting the the electronics in the gates weren't working, and it's all kinds of nonsense was going on, and I wasn't sure how long that was going to last. But it did. By the time, by afternoon, it had kind of ceased. Oh, and the lights, that was really strange. So they did all this construction. They spent all this money and did all this construction to kind of tear up the stairs that go to the temple on top of the mountain. And so they put these new light posts, these new street lights up, and they're the LED lights, so that weird blue, like super bright bluish light. And the night after the heavy rain, all the electricity was out all the way up the stairs, so obviously they didn't protect something, or something was exposed and shorted out. And so you forget, because I think the original stairs, there were very sporadic lighting, so you forget how dark it is, on this mountainside without lights. And yeah, that was pretty strange, because everyone's getting used to the the kind of heavy LED lighting, make it look very suburban park around here. But yeah, forget it used to be really dark, and I think I remember that coming home late, and no more taxis or anything were running, and so I come home on the last train after drinking parties or whatever, and yeah, walking up in the dark it's very dark. And the stairs were really crazy and irregular. But yeah, so we got really delayed, but luckily Chris had time after work, so we just got together after work, and we also got a chance to play a little. We didn't record anything because it was our first game, so we don't know the rules well enough to actually stream them. It'd be a little too embarrassing, all the rules lookups and mistakes. But yeah, got a chance to play a little in-person game as well, so that's been a long time. So things are slowly getting back to normal, but technically we're still locked down here. I don't know what that means. It means a lot of strange stores are shuttered. There's a lot of shopping areas that are the small stores are just completely shuttered. I don't know how they're covering that. I don't know how they're going to pay their rent if they're not allowed to be open for a month again. So yeah, so again, Japan's reaction and how they're doing things is a little odd. A little cautious and a little reckless at the same time. Ah, yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Nice. So surge protector and then two normal outlets. Yeah, I've done some occasional outlet stuff, because I can get away with because of just the indistinct white background. I can get away with having it look like be a wall or whatever. Interesting. Yeah, that might be a good, some good inspiration. I give away my my Americanness though. When I draw outlets, it's always the. I think that tells right away where someone is from, because outlets are so different in so many places. Yeah, here there's no ground outlet. They don't do grounded. They give you a ground wire, like on the heavy electric cables, or electric wires for like computer monitors or whatever. There's no third prong ground because there's no ground on the outlets, but they do give you a wire off of that if you want to like manually ground it, or there's like depending on how things were set up. So that's always been funny. I guess they don't have the like lightning strikes or something. I don't know why they do it that way. Oh, I forgot we are on the same layer here. I don't know why they do that here, but I just remembered that being such a necessity in the US, because your house gets struck by lightning and everything is fucked without the ground. Oh, wait a minute here. Let's get rid of this. Alright, so we got this, and oh, that's still sharing a layer. Okay. But yeah. But otherwise, I think it's like 210 and 220, or like 110, 100 and 110, the voltage. So it's a little bit different. So when people were first importing Japanese electronics, because there would be like some exclusive versions of things that were Japan only, like in the 80s and 90s, people would get the I forget what those are called, like the current, things that would convert the current, and I guess it was kind of necessary. It's close enough, but I guess it does like eventually do damage to the components. I don't know enough about electricity to know if that's true, but yeah, I've just been using things kind of interchangeably for a while. But I remember that was a thing. People would buy these big converter boxes to plug in their Japanese televisions and things. It's gotta be so amazing, like what it took. And I think things were not cheaper, but just services like courier services and things, where shipping services were more readily available because people were like coming to Japan for work and things. So there were moving companies and things that would handle that. But the people that were bringing like the big tube television, the big like CRT monitors and tube televisions from Japan, that's got to be insane. How heavy and how fragile those things were. But I do remember that there were a lot more services to deal with that back in the 90s. I think that all kind of went away. Oh yeah, that's true. Hey Rev, how's it going? Yeah, the stream started late too, Rev, so sorry about that. It's making it difficult for some people to show up. I'm ruining your ruining people's sleep schedules. Yeah, sorry, it's just a busy morning. So now we gotta figure out, let's see here. I might have to cheat the plugs here as well. Oh, and it might be funny to play like with the composition. I'm drawing things a little bit big, so the line's kind of thin. But yeah, if I do it that way. So I'll do it like a rocker switch and then a few of the plugs. Or actually, if I just duplicate, let me try this. Let me just duplicate one of these. Oops, what layer am I on here? See if I can get this to work. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Hey, unknown girl. Good to have you back. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen you for a few weeks, but yeah, it's been all kinds of random weirdness, and there's still no official word about the Olympics. I'm sure I say that, and then like right now they're doing a press release, but I guess, you know, as far as everybody knows, it's going forward, but we might have some sorry, some dropouts coming. People refusing to send athletes will start to slow things down. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I don't think it's too distorted. Yeah, just drawing it I think is gonna be better. Yeah, I think so. All right. But yeah, we'll see what they end up doing. And then they've got, I mean, it's not gonna, hopefully things aren't going to continue in this state for that long, but 2025 is the kind of World Expo type meeting in Osaka. So this is the first thing in a while that Osaka has held. So I think they would be very sad if that was also canceled. I saw they're going to advertise. They're going to exhibit a World's Fair thing. You exhibit. So the World Expo, they're going to exhibit a kind of, what is that called? When they have the it's not like a chairlift, but what they use, the kind of capsules, or the, you know, the little compartments that are on wires that they, you know, used to bring people up to mountainsides. I forget. It's been like in a ton of movies. That kind of Swiss Alps looking. I don't know. It's because it's not a cable car. I guess technically it is a car on a cable, but there's a new system that they've been working on here that is like a 12-person little capsule that is suspended on a line. And what are they calling it? It's got a really goofy name. Zipper or something? I think it literally is like Zippa. So a way to, because right now I think Japan is not able to, you know, train lines and things are almost impossible to extend. It's getting really to the point where things are so overbuilt. You know, you'd have to demolish houses or different things to make any changes in the current system. And so they're looking for alternatives, and this is a way, and they literally show it in the demo. I should just look for the I should just look for the promotional video. Oh, is that the same company? That's depressing. Ropeways, yeah, they're calling it. Okay, where's the promotion video? Oh, it's even worse. The one that I saw was much more like a corporately produced kind of deal. Wait a minute, I think I can find it. Oh, weird. Yeah, the demo I saw was much better. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so let me switch over to this real quick so I have some context what I'm talking about here. Yeah, kind of like a chairlift. Yeah, yeah. Right. It's just kind of a chairlift deal. So here's the promotion video for it. Oh, here's the promotion video for it. And I think this is going to be in 2025. They're going to be exhibiting this at the expo. Right now, they're testing it in various places. But yeah, just talking about, yeah, everything is overbuilt. There's no way to, like, extend train lines to certain places. So here's it's a great name, isn't it? But yeah, it's these little capsules that they only hold like 12 people, but you can put enough of them, you can run them rapidly enough that I think it's like, a couple thousand people an hour. And so they'll just build I don't know. Yeah. So there's your power supply coming from the cable, and you're just running these little, but the cool thing that they show is that, it can actually go up to the whatever floor of your office building. And I'm sure all kinds of amazing disasters can happen. But this is going to look ridiculous if they actually get this going. Yeah, there you go. So you like, elevated platforms on skyscrapers. But yeah, yeah, just like a chairlift deal. Yeah, but I don't know. Can you imagine like, uh, yeah, the unforeseen problems of something like this? But look at that. Can you imagine they start running these things to shortcut, to connect certain stations or to give you access to things? It'll look very bizarre, not in a cool future way, just in like a weird, like, oh, okay, it's not, it's not flying cars, but it's different. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna make things really weird. There it is. The future is now. But yeah, they can deploy it. That's the thing that they're. It's cheap and takes much less time to construct, so you can build these lines much quicker. But I don't know. I don't know if that doesn't exist. That was just CG. But yeah, so I guess, yeah, 2022, and then and then this is the expo, the Osaka kind of World Expo thing. So yeah, they're going to have the future of yeah. So I guess that's a thing. Who knows? But yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, to give you some kind of context. So that was in the news recently. So I don't know what exactly that's going to mean for. I mean, it makes sense for Japan, and with the, you know, lower levels of crime and like kind of, people doing, there aren't so many uh, mentally ill homeless, and things you have to deal with that may cause trouble on as opposed to like New York City or San Francisco or something. You have to deal with less nonsense, but I don't know, it still looks still looks a little odd. But there's our vision of the future. Yeah, right. It would have to, yeah, they'd have to do like elevated platforms, like they do with the trains already. So there's going to be some construction, and but maybe they can, because Japan has a lot of elevated tracks. So if they are connecting train lines, then they can just, make entrances and exits off of the side of train platforms, like existing train platforms. So that could work. I don't know, but who knows? Oh, neat. Yeah, Colombia has those. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's good then. That's proof of concept. I was worried that this was like something from the science fiction imaginations of Japanese engineers. But that's cool. Yeah, if something like that exists, because they do have a lot of trams here, where they can't build, where they have to build above roads and things. They do tram lines in the Odaiba city in Tokyo, that kind of island, that uh, business district kind of island where Tokyo Big Sight is. They have a tram that runs all the way around the island, because I guess, they can't build train lines through it. And I think it's a man-made island too. It's like an artificial island, and so when they extend, that was their kind of their only option if they wanted to extend train lines or connect to train lines. They would just build these tram lines, but they're much smaller cars, and they can't move as many people. So during rush hour, trams are really brutal because they don't have the capacity of regular subway cars. And so when they're crowded, yeah, it's not comfortable to stand or anything because of the way they're designed. They're only designed to hold like 20 people or so, and so yeah, it's pretty messy. So we'll see what happens. But that's cool if they already exist somewhere. Yeah, and if they're cleaner to run, if they're only electrical, and they can figure out a way to, I guess everything, all the train systems are electric here, but. Yeah, we'll see. But that's the thing they're prototyping now. So yeah, I won't draw. Yes, that's something about being connected. Well, thanks, thanks Hypno for the inspiration, the idea. I had no good idea. So we'll see what I can do with that. Yeah, so that'll be actually something new at the expo. That's the thing I always think about is we get technology so it's so small and so personal and so rapidly iterated on. There's always new versions of things. That what could they possibly show you at a World Expo? It's not going to be like it was at the turn of the century, or late 19th century, where you saw things that were amazing. You never possibly could have imagined. I mean, we've seen everything, so we're a little jaded as far as what new technology offers, or no one's going to be gasping in amazement at holograms or anything, or 3D or virtual reality. That is very dated almost. So yeah, but that'll be an interesting thing to see, especially if they use it like whatever the main expo site is going to be, if they have those set up as a demonstration. That'll be interesting. At least it looks kind of like 60s science fiction. But yeah, so that was the only thing. I think I'm just drew a pot pie. Yeah, where did there was just recently. Was that at a convenience store? Or I think KFC. That's right, KFC occasionally brings out chicken pot pies. So I think that's the last place I saw. They're kind of rare here. It's not such a common food, but the the pot pie in a little cardboard box. All right. Wow. Sorry. Everything is all misconfigured here. Hey K5, how's it going? Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, right. If especially if it's hanging from a wire, if it does this at all, because there's a lot of Ferris wheels here, like at the kind of touristy spots in Japan, and a lot of people are really afraid of the movement of the carriage on the Ferris wheel. So I can't imagine there's going to be, especially older people, maybe they don't want to feel because it does get windy. There's like strong winds and storms and things, so people may be a little scared of the kind of back and forth of those little capsules. Oh, cool! Wow. Well, that's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Hypno. That's very cool. Nice. Yeah, oh, that's true. That's the thing, and people don't even talk about like the danger, and there really aren't accidents. I think the last accident on a bullet train was a guy setting himself on fire, like inside the train. That was the last time they had to that it was very serious. But they run them pretty carefully, and I think because the more modern ones, if you've seen them, they're so long and so streamlined, and they run so low that even anything on the track is just going to be kind of flipped over. They're such bullets. They've got such the bullet aerodynamics that if anything was on the track, it would just be like flipped over. But there are I don't know if you've seen that picture. I think it's the main character from Adventure Time. Like they did like some kind of promotional like rap, and maybe that wasn't even Japan, but some kind of promotional rap of the one of the front of the trains with the Adventure Time character on it. And obviously they'd hit a bunch of bugs, like a bunch of insects, like pretty big ones, and so there was all these blood spatter, like looking like these little spatters of the places, in the place where the bugs hit the front of the train, and they were red, so it looked like just just a bunch of spattered blood on the front of the train. But it I don't know. Yeah, they don't talk about it being nice. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've done that. I've done something with that too. The mechanical pencil and the regular pencil. Yeah, mechanical pencil is hard to get across. Not looking and make it not look like a pen. I mean, if I guess I say mechanical pencil, I was gonna draw a pie, but nice. Oh wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, I remember mayflies. Yeah, there was I have a childhood memory of like stopping in a gas station where the flies are swarming. So at night they're swarming around the lights of the gas station, and it's just like it's just like clouds, and they're just everywhere, and you're just driving over them, and they're like clinging to the lights, and yeah, it looked like yeah, just like a locust swarm or something. But yeah, I remember some summer vacation. We ended up somewhere with a bunch of mayflies, and they can cause a lot of mess, especially at night when there's only when limited things are illuminated. That's not. Oh, maybe if I do a pie, so get rid of this and do like a pie. Like that, maybe. Yeah, it's been so long since I've drawn on the bigger tablet. I'm forgetting like that sensitivity, because it's definitely better than this one. This has a very limited, limited line variation, like width variation and stuff. Yeah, it's just there's no room to set it up here. It's a shame. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've tried that before. I think there is a mechanical pencil. Oh, cool. Thanks, Joe, for posting that. Yeah, I was curious. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when things are overbuilt to have some alternative. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Yeah, and it's so much less construction than what they have to do for subways. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we'll see if that starts to become a thing. I can't imagine though a bunch of tourists on those things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the return of tourism in Japan. It's, yeah, really unpleasant. All right. So why does this not look... Maybe break this a little bit. This doesn't look like a pie. Kind of. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to come across. Yeah, that's cool. I wonder. Metro cable. That's really cool. Yeah, that seems to make the most sense when you're dealing with places that you just can't get rid of residential areas. You just got to build around. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That there's got to be some sort of way they can make that as safe as possible. Yeah, because if you're crossing highways and something happens where that one of those drops into some situation or drops onto train, like the subway tracks or something, boof, that could be crazy. But yeah, Japan's pretty good with the safety. That's like their biggest concern with everything, all their public transportation and everything. Like, yeah, the safety record for like Japanese airlines and the bullet train, the Shinkansen, is amazing compared to other Asian countries that pretend to have bullet trains. That one story, there was an accident. There was a big accident in China with their rapid rail. There was a train derailment, and all they did and it was on some elevated train line, and so part of the train was stuck up there and part of it had derailed. They just pushed the cars off the track and just buried them right on the site. I hope they got all the bodies out, but yeah, it was a really real bad look for a train accident. Instead of hauling them away, they're just like, oh, let's just dig a trench here. We'll just push the busted train car in there and bury it. All right. Anything happening between these two pies? That could be French onion soup for all anyone knows. I'm gonna have to call it a pot pie. Oh, yeah. Already the chat isn't scrolling. I wonder if I got something set up wrong. Oh yeah, the bullet trains are pretty crazy. I think they only kilometers. It's pretty crazy. They hope that they'll convert them. 320 kilometers per hour, which is almost 200 miles per hour. And the crazy thing is, you don't feel it at all. They're just like, there's no movement, no anything on the trains, so they're really comfortable to work. Like, you don't feel any movement this way or any like irregularities in the track. But top speeds of 199 miles per hour. Yeah, they're just amazingly smooth. And even when they're coming to a stop, like sometimes like a subway or whatever, depending on how rough the driver is, they'll kind of jam things and everyone will kind of stumble a little bit before the train doors open. And the Shinkansen are just insanely smooth. But they probably slow down over a couple of miles, though. It's probably like a real gradual thing. But they're insanely smooth. It's really crazy. And it's funny, the doors, because everything has to be so aerodynamic, the doors kind of seal in. They kind of like suck into the sides. And they're so quiet, too. That's the crazy thing, is I missed a bullet train once to Tokyo. I just wanted to run inside and grab a beer for the train, because you can, eating on the train that's like very acceptable, because everyone's kind of, doing long distance. So you get the little obento box, and I went into the little convenience store on the platform for a beer, and turned around, and the train had come and gone in just a couple of seconds that it took for me to buy something. And it was just like, less than a minute. And I can't believe how fast, and you literally have to be standing right there because they stop, open, close, and go. Like they're real, the schedule is real crazy. So it doesn't wait for any amount of time, but it arrives so quietly and leaves so quietly that I didn't hear anything on the platform. It turned around like, whoa, wait, it's gone, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it was crazy because nobody out there, the platform was totally empty. Yeah, it is Blink and you missed it. That was shocking. I mean, that was like one of the first times of taking that trip alone, and I wasn't paying attention. And she's like, "Oh, I've got time, right? I got a minute." So yeah, it's right there, and that was a huge mistake. But they're cool too about because they run like every 10 minutes or whatever. It's really really often, so they were cool about just moving my ticket over to the next one. Easy to do. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Even though Japan's not a big country, that's the thing I remember from those trips back and forth. If you're taking one of the last trains, especially for the weekend, so a lot of people will visit their boyfriend or girlfriend between like Kyoto and Tokyo, or Osaka and Tokyo. That's a long distance relationship, even though it's like literally 2 hours away. It's so basically like San Francisco, Los Angeles, the distance. And but that's a long distance relationship here, and you'll have tearful goodbyes on the bullet train platforms, because someone's going back to they go to school in Osaka or whatever, so there's like tearful goodbyes at the train every like Sunday night because of the long distance relationship. But it's so close. It's literally, and I guess that for Japan though, that's the scale of everything is different. So like for me, a 5 hour drive, because I think my brother literally, he had a girlfriend when we were living in Los Angeles. He had a girlfriend in San Francisco, and he would drive every weekend up to see her. It's like that wasn't a big thing, that wasn't like an unimaginable distance. But yeah, I just remember that's a very standard thing, is the kind of missing each other, and they spent the weekend together and then have to go back. So the bullet train has a lot of young couples sad to be apart. Yeah, that's nice. I would not. Yeah, a small town. I mean, and this is the place where we are now is kind of a bedroom community, but traffic is weird here because the the roads, there's nothing more than a 4 lane. The biggest freeways are 4 lane freeways, and that's like for major connecting areas. So if multiple people, if too many people are doing the same thing at the same time, you get traffic even in the kind of rural areas here, which is really strange. They don't there's not much they can do. They can't widen roads. They can't do much about it. So the roads that run around the big cities are wider, but they don't get to be those like 12 lane, like Los Angeles kind of monster roads. So it's a lot smaller. And then if you've got any truck traffic or anything, it slows everything down. But yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I wonder, Joe. I wonder why there's no bullet trains in the U.S. I think they were talking about it. I think in Texas, it's somewhere in the South Texas or the Southwest. They were talking about that. But I would worry for the desert that there would be things that could happen to the tracks. Or I mean, the safety has to be huge because you're going so fast. The accidents would be spectacular. The derailments would just be insane because the trains are going so fast. So you couldn't do it like in the Midwest where a cow could wander across the tracks. That would just be insane. That would just be a big explosion of cow. And it's got to be places where just people are not going to mess with the tracks. So I don't know. I don't know where that would work or what would be the best situation for that. But I wonder, yeah. Yeah, I have a weird snack for tonight. If you remember the chicken, they have like the steamed chicken breast that you're supposed to like put on a salad or a sandwich at the convenience stores. But students just open them because they're kind of in a sealed, like a film. You just pull apart the two pieces of plastic, and kids just pull those apart, students, and just eat the chicken breast like a candy bar. So someone is paying attention to the convenience store, so now they have the tofu version of that. So now there's tofu bars. Yeah, so you get your protein, I guess, from yeah. So I'll show you one of those. They're pretty unappetizing looking, but we'll see if they taste any good. Yeah, so I wonder what. Yeah, no, they're just like steamed. I think yeah, it was a while ago, but those were real. Those became kind of trendy for kids, low carb diet kids that just wanted protein. So it's just like a little steamed chicken breast in a film, in like a sealed film bag, and they'll be flavored. There's like a barbecue or like an herb, like a lemon herb version, or just a plain chicken version. And I think the idea is you slice it and you put it on a salad, or you make a sandwich out of it. But they're kind of weird and slimy. But the students were just eating them, like opening the top and just eating them like candy bars. But they're cold. They're cold steamed chicken, so it's not very appetizing. But because of that trend, I think the stores are trying to, vary. And I think there's going to be an effort, a very clumsy effort, but an effort to accommodate more vegan or vegetarian diets in Japan, because I've seen more kind of alternative foods, but they don't do it very well, because especially the one I got is like a soup flavored. It's like a so that's probably either fish stock or chicken stock. If it says soup, it's either made from the fish flakes or from the consomme, like a chicken broth. So they're not going to be very vegan friendly. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'll show you that. It looks odd. It looks like tofu, but I'm not sure how you can eat it because it's in like a bar form. So we'll see. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wonder what the yeah, I've never noticed that, the expiration dates on those chicken things. They're cooked though. They're like thoroughly cooked. So they probably last for a little bit on the shelf, but I'm sure once they're opened, yeah, that can't be good. You don't want to leave that anywhere to get warm in the sun. But yeah, that's an odd kind of standard thing at a convenience store now. Is those chicken breast things. Let me see if they have those. Have a photo of those. Sorry, my one-handed typing is not good. Oh, sorry, there's so much chicken stuff. Oh yeah, here's what I'm talking about. Okay, real quick explanation. I don't mean to keep doing this. Oh, this is the thing that I'm talking about. These, oops, not that. Here. So these packages, so that's just like a half of a chicken breast or a quarter, whatever that is, in this like vacuum sealed like film bag. And so they've got a bunch of different flavors, and they always call them salad chicken. Yeah, so that's a salad chicken. So yeah, and as you can see, they're meant to just like throw on top of a salad, I guess, to put protein, add protein to a salad only lunch. But now there's a tofu version of this, but so it's obviously meant, like, the all the packaging shows it's intended to be eaten on top of a salad, but students will just buy one and then just peel it and then just walk around eating. And it's, I don't know, you can't really tell, but there's a lot of juice in there, like a lot of disgusting, cold, slimy chicken juice. So they're not that easy. They're not that convenient to eat, because you can like dribble some kind of disgusting chicken juice on yourself. But that's what I'm talking about. Those that's very standard. Every convenience store has their own brand, and there are different flavors. And there's a shredded one. You can see this one. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can see I'm doing that. The one in the upper right hand corner there is a shredded chicken for your salad. Hypno, it is not appetizing at all. Yeah, and I don't know why it became, because I think it's like a, office lady kind of, lunch item. But yeah, students just kind of, I don't know, if they're trying to cut their carbs or whatever, they get stuck on that. Oh, cool. Nice, nice. Right, right. Yes, yeah, the tofu version. I've got one right here, and it's not cold anymore, but I'm gonna try the tofu version. It looks much more. It's like a bar, like bar shaped, so it's much more manageable, I think, if to eat it student style. But I guess it might be intended to be sliced and put on a salad as well. But yeah, kebab on a salad sounds good. Hmm. Yeah, so we'll see. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So here's the here's a quick preview. Tofu bar. Yeah. So as you can see, it's that same kind of vacuum film kind of bag, and it's uh, right next to the chicken too. But it's just a big bar of tofu, and so good tofu is amazing. So if this is cheap tofu, especially because it's flavored, it's like dashi flavored. Who knows what this is gonna mean? But it's 10 grams of protein. Yeah, and only, yeah, it's definitely like a weird kind of diet food because it's only 100 calories and high protein. But I can imagine students walking around like it looks disgusting too because they're just walking around with a piece of chicken and now a piece of tofu like stuck in their face. Uh, yeah. So so we'll see. I think Hypno's gonna have to avert avert his eyes. It's pretty nasty. Uh, yeah, the chicken is pretty gross because it is real chicken, so it has, you know, the things that can be stuck to a chicken breast, like little, strings of fat or whatever. Yeah, so the chicken breast is a lot more, and or like veins or whatever you can see in the meat. So it's a little more gruesome to just have it in that weird clear plastic bag. Yeah, tofu is much more benign, just bean curd. Hypno's not sticking around for any of that. Uh, yeah, yeah, those were really good. The peanut, the chocolate ball peanut things. Yeah, I'm trying to. I found some good beer snacks too that I want to show you, but I want to actually have a beer like on stream to eat them with because they're really salty and they like fit the beer really well. But I got to do a bunch of driving this week, so I don't think I should be, yeah, drinking beer before I get behind the wheel. Especially here, the legal alcohol limit is like insane. It's literally like two beers, I think, and you hit it. It's really really low. So, well, I think we've got. If we can make sense of that, pot pies and our outlets. I think that composition will look okay. Kind of deciding between. Oh, and it's the same number, right? Two outlets would be the same number on that power strip on the surge protector. So yeah, we gotta make. Is it some joke about the protection or? Yeah, we'll have to see. Oh, I guess I can start coloring things and see how it looks. Yeah, no one's gonna be jealous about the tofu bar. I'd love to try that. Yeah, yeah, they were really buttery. Yeah, it's funny because that chocolate ball is such a kid's snack. So it's weird they did all that branding, but it was actually like like an adult kind of beer snack. But yeah, buttered peanuts are an excellent idea. Yeah, that kind of stuff is so random here. And the thing that's frustrating is if you find something that you really like, it goes away really fast. Like everything is so temporary here. And like you kind of have a temptation of like, oh, this was really good, so I'll buy as much of it as possible. But yeah, that's not ever easy here. I don't know why they just love things going away. Like things being very seasonal or cyclical or very limited, and that's just a weird cultural obsession. So you have all these memories of, oh, that was so good, and oh, I remember that, and it just goes away. So the that company Mitsuya that makes the cider, the kind of very standard famous Japanese cider drink, just kind of a sweet soda. They are in this like whole retro mode, this nostalgia mode, where they keep bringing back their short time limited flavors that they did. So I guess like through the 60s and 70s, they did a bunch of like variations. Oh, hey, Hive Mind, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. The what am I saying? Oh yeah, so they're bringing back all of these flavors that they tried throughout the history of it, and I'm not sure like if they're the exact. I mean, no one's gonna really know if they're the exact formulas or not. But for anybody that doesn't recognize that spelling, that's my co-host for the Upturned Table weekly podcast. How's it going, Hive Mind? Oh yeah, how's Twitch? How's Twitch looking? I'm actually like appearing on Twitch, right? I'm really good at broadcasting to it and just having audio only. Oh, cool. Oh yeah. Last week, Hypno reminded me that I didn't stop streaming. I think I had like 30 minutes of just outro music last week because I shut everything off except for the streaming software, so it just kept streaming and streaming and streaming. Yeah, I trimmed that off on Twitch, but yeah, I think on YouTube that might be a little annoying for people. The endless. Oh, good, good. Yeah. Oh, that was the thing too. I was gonna. I'll probably tease that on this week's weekly, but you guys saw the news. They were having like I think some streamer on YouTube got either their account was closed or they lost their advertising, their partnership or whatever, because of some violation of the rules. And it was one of the streamers that does the hot tub streams, so you can wear a bathing suit, you can wear a bikini basically, because you're appropriately in a situation where you'd be wearing a bathing suit, which would be a hot tub. So I think we should convert the weekly stream to a hot tub, because that category must be pretty hot right now. So yeah, so there was controversy about the streamer being demonetized somehow, but then Twitch, their response was to create a new category for like hot tubs and pools. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, streaming involves a lot of electronics and a PC, the cameras and microphones and a PC. Like, why are you going to get those near water? And I can just imagine those, like, the apartments or houses or whatever where people are got their little streaming setup going, like putting a hot tub in there and like, putting too much weight on a floor because you want to sit in water. Yeah, I think we should convert. The weekly should just be a hot tub stream every week. We'll get much more attention, being pioneers in the tabletop news category. Yeah, but it's funny. There's so much kind of weird dishonesty that those companies use, the kind of very hypocritical about, well, we have our terms, whatever code of conduct or whatever, and but that doesn't apply if it's making money, and if it's popular, then we're actually going to look the other way. So they let all kinds of weird things happen on Twitch and still pretend that it's, more family friendly than it is. Sorry. Yeah, it's really strange. It reminds me of like America Online, when they were getting accused of like all the child pornography and all the stuff that was going on early America Online. They didn't cop to any of that. That was they didn't admit that most of their popularity was based on the fact that they didn't police their chat rooms or anything, so you can kind of trade illegal content with impunity. And then they became AOL Time Warner. Yeah, so that was like the earliest example of that, and then Twitch is just the next version of that. Yeah, I thought the hot tub and pool category, that makes so much sense for streaming, because I guess phones are pretty waterproof now, though, so if you're just streaming on your phone, that is possible. But a real streaming setup, how would you possibly... what are these pies doing? How would you possibly justify doing that? Hey, there's Chris. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, so that Chris is the Chris you see on the weekly. So on Upturned Table, we do the weekly, which is just kind of a kind of news story update of kind of game headlines. Sometimes we veer off into movies or TV or whatever. I think I'm going to complain about what's the there's a couple of stupid things that aren't very game related this week, but just keeps happening. But yeah, the weekly, this will be the 90th episode, so we're almost at 100. So we got just a couple more months, and we'll hit our 100th episode. So we survived, survived the lockdown and everything with that show. And yeah, I don't think I think we just missed there were literally a few weeks in that, like 2 years or whatever. We just missed a few weeks. It was pretty weekly, pretty regular, which is amazing because everything has worked against that being possible. Yes, we're old. Oh yeah, no, I wasn't going to talk about Love, Death, and Robots. Yeah, I can't deal with that show. It had like so much potential to be interesting, or to get give voice to some new creative people. Like they could have literally a good enough short. They could have Netflix could then make into a series if it was an interesting enough concept, but none of those have been. Yeah, it's just really weird. I don't know. It's just like being trapped at a bad animation festival. Yeah, it really is. A lot of wasted potential because, technically a lot of them are done well. There's a lot of beautiful CG animation. Storytelling is bad, and sometimes even like I've noticed that with Invincible on Amazon, that it's not storyboarded very well. Like whoever is, and maybe they're just like they're making reference to the comics, so like using compositions of like comics panels, but usually those are even composed better. But so much of that show is so flat, and so they're trying to make it very cinematic. And there's a lot of scenes, and when they the way they use music and stuff, they're trying to make it cinematic, but their shot composition and a lot of their layout sucks. It's real boring and real flat. So I don't know if that's to emulate the look of the comic, or there's some actual design reason for that. But I noticed that with Love and Robots too, is sometimes it's just, yeah, really boring, really badly done. Filmmaking, like animation filmmaking. Yeah, very strange. But oh yeah, no, it is. There is a Netflix thing I'm going to complain about. Yeah, Netflix made a weird. Yes, I think somebody higher up at Netflix said something that's like, no, that's not a good idea. But there's just a ton of bad ideas. So yeah, it'll be Bad Idea Friday. I need to find one more really bad idea, a company trying to do something that they're not capable of doing, and then we'll have this like trifecta of bad ideas. Yeah, but Netflix has some weird ideas for their future. Yeah, Netflix is so mysterious. I don't know how they're throwing so much money at stuff and expecting any kind of return. It seems like that streaming is just this weird war of attrition, and they're just trying to outlast everybody and waiting for people to drop out. Disney's never going to drop out, but things like Peacock or whatever, like everything is getting its own service, so they'll just have to wait for those to die out, and then they can license that content if it was popular. But yeah, we'll see. What was the thing I heard about Netflix? They just paid like a crazy amount of money, like $400 million or something, to secure the rights for 2 sequels for Knives Out. I think that's what I heard. Like a crazy amount of money, because somebody was complaining about the budget of the Amazon Lord of the Rings series that they're doing. So really crazy, like the initial first season that cost them like over $1 billion, and Amazon of course points their finger at Netflix and says, well, Netflix just spent this to secure the rights for 2 sequel movies. So yeah, it's just amazing. I don't know if we're going to look back at this time as like a golden age, or like this like bizarre time of venture capital, like exploit kind of. Yeah, it's very weird. All the investment that these platforms keep getting, and they just keep throwing it at stuff with no potential. Oh, come on. The chat is not... $1 billion. Yeah. They're claiming like 400 something, like almost 500 million, but the reports are because of all of the the everything they had to set up and establish, all the pre-production and everything, the full cost of the first season, including they're going to be using this production for the run of the show, so some of the sets they built, or the character design, or costume designs or whatever, those things are going to exist for the run of the show. But yeah, the first season was $1 billion. And so they basically said it has to be a Game of Thrones level success. But it's Tolkien. Like, it's not going to be... They've already proved that they can't... the Chinese release of the Lord of the Rings movies isn't number one. Isn't like, I think... what was beating it? Something really silly was beating it. Detective Conan or something was beating Lord of the Rings. So it's not a universally loved property that everyone must see what they're doing with it, especially because they're going back into like an earlier age in that setting, where it's kind of, it's not that interesting and not that familiar, so people are just going to be like, this is for nerds, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, is it free? Oh, wow. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on with the Oh, that's right. That's right. And they have a intimacy coordinator. So they're going to do that same thing probably with that Game of Thrones did, that kind of bait and switch, where it's like there's a ton of nudity in like the first half of the first season, and they're like, come for the naked people and then stay for the nerdy fantasy storytelling. So yeah, we'll see. But that was in that was actually in the Song of Ice and Fire. That was in Game of Thrones. The you know, more gritty sexuality and everything was in that story. But in Tolkien, being the good Catholic that he was, he didn't write anything too salacious in the salacious, anything too naughty in his books. So I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't want to see nude hobbits. I think that's my biggest the thing that I will protest the most is if I have to yeah, I'm sorry. I hope the chat is going okay. Yeah, I'm using this weird combined version from the Restream. Oh, wait. So, yeah, I hope it's not screwed up. Yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah, as far as like writing, yeah, I've just been kind of creating things on stream a couple of times. Very rarely do I come to the stream with like a something in my head, like, oh, I want to, yeah, or some funny phrase or something that I want to draw the do the visual for. There's not a lot. It used to be kind of back and forth, like the very early cartoons. I used to have a notebook that I would write things down, and then I started putting them into my phone. And so then when it would come time to do the cartoons, I would look through what I had written and see and look at that for inspiration. But you can really tell when the joke comes first or when the drawing comes first. Like, it's very obvious, I think, in the earlier works when it was when I thought the joke was good and then just had to illustrate that, or when I had an interesting drawing or a funny drawing and I tried to write for that. So I think this way it's a little bit more organic, like things kind of come out. Like I kind of just struggle with both, and then they kind of come together at the same time. So I think that works somewhat better. I think I'm happier with that process at least. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, that ugly creamy color. But yeah, oh, I gotta come up with, I guess, gray-ish, maybe a little more warm. Yeah. Well, this will be a very monotone. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so it kind of goes back and forth. I don't know. I mean, they've got to kind of work together. I don't think because my drawings especially are pretty simple. So simple and especially the early stuff is a real kind of clumsy drawing. So it's not the visuals. You're not like completely transfixed by how beautiful these drawings are. They just have to kind of serve the purpose of getting the idea across. So it's basically, and I think I talked about that a little bit before, with the gag cartoon, like that single panel gag cartoon, and kind of political cartoons work like this. Although political cartoons are kind of they are kind of cheap because they do a lot of writing. Like you'll have a big fat guy in a political cartoon, and it'll say U.S. Congress or something. They'll literally like write things on the characters, so it doesn't express things very well. So it's not only a visual; they put text on the drawings as well. So political cartoons are not the same, but the gag cartoon, like magazine style cartoon, an image and the text, and so you look at the image and see what's kind of going on. Then you read the text, and then the humor comes from that revealing of. The text tells you something that you probably didn't see, or it recontextualizes the image that you just looked at, or you find the kind of thing that it's referring to, like the little incident or the little detail that comes out of the text. So that's the where you get the surprise. So it's image, text, back to the image, and in that you can kind of do something funny or have a little switch, or the surprise of the humor. Yeah, I don't know. So they're interdependent, like comic books too. Like the drawing isn't, and so if the drawing is too good or too interesting, it takes away from why you would even read the text. So American comics sometimes have that problem, where they'll be drawn and colored very gorgeously, and you're just looking at this amazing image, and you don't even care like what is they're saying, or what the text is, or the story is. So it has to be kind of balanced. They're both weak, but together they're strong. The writing isn't particularly funny by itself or interesting by itself. The picture isn't that compelling by itself, but together they make something a little more transcendent of both of them. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the favorite one, I don't know. The early stuff, I still have a lot of love for the kind of early ideas, because I was like in the midst of it, in the middle of the kind of being obsessed with the idea. So a lot of the early stuff I really like. But when I look back at the drawing, because it was the marker on actual paper, it was a little weak. But there was a charm to that, its weakness was a little charming. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I've done a bunch of different types of projects, so there's nothing that I was like, I still think I haven't done my favorite thing yet. I hope. The thing that I think is the best. Yeah. Uh-oh. Are we doing okay? Let's see. Uh-oh. Yeah, looks like... Oh, we're moving. We're kind of moving. Yeah, it's very strange. I'm getting green, so I'm not dropping any frames. So I wonder where... That might be happening on the YouTube side. Yeah, weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Or maybe I just keep freezing. Nice. All right. So, let's see. Get a little closer here. But yeah, I don't really have something that stuck out. I mean, everything is just kind of everything creatively that I've been working on is just kind of an excuse to like talk about or think about some particular idea. So I don't think there's been anything that's like, that's the best thing, that I've ever that I've ever done. That's because you don't it's really hard to be satisfied. Like, you see the potential in certain mediums or doing things a certain way, but something really, really has to click, and I think you have to spend a lot of time with it. And I think maybe part of my problem is I try different things. I've done animation and then cartooning, and then tried to write the short stories, and so there's things that I haven't devoted myself to a medium long enough to really get my 10,000 hours in. So my technical competency isn't amazing. I just kind of needed or wanted it for the just to get the idea across. So cartoons, I don't know, but the cartoon is the thing I've done the longest. Like, this cartoon has been the most regular kind of constant expression, even though it's very light. There's not I've had definitely heavier ideas in other projects. But yeah, I don't know. But this fits me the best. Fits what I'm able to deal with and take on. I think there's a lot of like more challenging content or things I've avoided or not really done anything with. I don't know. It's a weird thing. And I always think about like kind of missed opportunities, or when I had the kind of most energy or the most creative output, why I didn't let's do maybe just the top, why I didn't take that energy, when I was younger, or produced more, why I didn't take advantage of that and get a lot more done, like be more prolific and get a lot more things produced. But you're kind of have to be ready for it, because a lot of the stuff that people do in their 20s is just kind of a waste of time. It's not like you so don't understand. There's so much that you don't understand, and it shows. Like, it's very rare that somebody young produces really like deep resonating work, because they just don't understand how to get there. And a lot of times if they're writing in this like very wise, or they're producing something in this very wise or very interesting way, it's that they're just kind of faking it. Like it doesn't come from actual experience. It just comes from this like imagined it's just all kind of what's a good word for it? It's just all kind of intellectual. They're not it's not coming from a deeper place, and you can kind of feel that when people are faking it. So you can't so I try not to be too frustrated by that, like beat up on myself for times when I was less productive or didn't do anything because I probably wasn't capable of it. Like just forcing yourself to do something and it not clicking, like it not making sense, and it not like being I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you're not being able to speak well through that medium, or really being able to control it enough that you're just going directly from your head to the paper or whatever it is. That's what you're trying to do. That's when it works well. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just drawing a cartoon. I don't know why I'm trying to make it any loftier than that. But it's a funny thing. Like the creative process is kind of weirdly frustrating, because it's hard to get a hold of, and there are people that can get a good control of it and be very productive, but at the same time a lot of what they're making is pretty empty, and a lot of, and that's the thing now that's really difficult, I think, for anybody trying to do something creative online, is there are insanely productive people. There's the artists on Instagram that literally do a major piece, or a decent finished work every day. Like they just are daily artists that produce some kind of painting, some kind of drawing, and then they sell them, like because it's Instagram or Twitter or whatever. They've got this immediate audience, and they've got an immediate customer base, and they're just like producing things and selling them. And that's pretty daunting for anybody that's like actually trying to have a career and produce something. But a lot of that's just illustration, and people are, collecting pictures of bears or whatever. So it's a little bit deceiving, because they're not really doing much outside of just the craft of drawing or painting. But when you see so many people being so productive, it's very depressing if you're trying to make stuff. Yes. Yeah, so there's got to be some joke there with it being the same number, the same number of plugs, or doubling the. I don't know. Um, yeah, actually, I don't like those. Those shadows don't look right. I was trying to make it look a little bit more recessed, but I don't think that looks right. Just make them. Yeah, I think just with that highlight, it looks weird. So maybe just do that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny thing. But where did that all... Oh, yeah, just talking about the picture in the text. Or the... Oh, favorite. That's right, the favorite thing. I still haven't made it yet. My favorite thing. Nice. Yeah, that definitely those people have no kids. Yeah, good point, Chris. Yeah, they don't have much of a. I mean, that is all that they do basically, and that's got to be hard too. That's the trap that I never wanted, or always tried to avoid, or never wanted to fall into, is just the robotic production of something just because you could do it, or just because you can draw a pretty something, or something that some people find competent or attractive, is just not get stuck in that, because I think there are a lot of people that they develop enough of an audience for something and then just keep doing it regardless. I never wanted this cartoon to feel like that, like it was just this soulless thing that I just that didn't have any I didn't put any of myself into it, and there was no joy in making it. So yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, that's how my daughter. That's like what she's doing now. Is all iPad Pro illustration stuff. I was like, that's crazy, and it's so I can't even like that's such a leap compared to what I thought of originally as like painting and drawing. I would never think to have done something like that. This was like such a gradual process of me like relenting and finally considering digital art as something even legitimate. Sorry, it took such a long time to get to the point of producing all digital, but there's so many students now that that's just immediately what they go to, and they're producing art just to be consumed digitally. So why would you do something physical and then have to figure out a way to photograph it or scan it or whatever to be able to share it? Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird not having an original. Like there being no original is very weird. So that's why I have to create all the NFTs for every cartoon I make. I have to create the non-fungible token, so it is original according to the blockchain. All right, so yeah, I think we can take a look. Oh, I didn't do eyes on. Oof, I'm slipping here. Do eyes on anything? All right. All right, so they're very conscious of what. So maybe, we might have to edit this later. But yeah, there's something about connection and not being connected to anything. All he wanted to do was protect them from surges. Pi versus pi. All right, there we go. Yeah, kind of close together, aren't they? Yeah, I think that works. All right. Yeah, I was trying to think of that, but the cable, but it'll just kind of have to end. Yeah, that's true because it doesn't. I guess it would. It reads enough, or maybe just a loop. That that might not be a bad idea. I might be able to get away with just suggesting. Suggesting there's a cable. Just do something like this, so it's like perfectly obscured by the body of the. Yeah, that comes up a lot when I do appliances and stuff that would have a cord. It's like, so the cord just goes off the edge of the cartoon, or what does it do? Yeah, that happens a lot when I'm trying to compose these. I think this will work as like at least getting across the idea. Because, yeah, you're right. It doesn't... I don't want to completely not make any sense. Something like that. Like, yeah, there's a cable there, but it just wraps completely around and it goes completely behind. Yeah, just so the composition doesn't get too weird. So it's not so too snaky. Yeah, that's a good idea. Uh-oh, that will be the end of the weekly if I start producing NFTs. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, wow, that is nuts. Digital artists on TikTok. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, people doing stuff. And a lot of it, I mean, there is like this weird performance element to some people's drawing and some people's art. Because I remember, like, when I was a kid, there were shows where people would just like tell a story and draw pictures. So the watching someone draw something, like create an image, can be storytelling and entertaining. And yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's something I'm never even going to be able to get my head around, is like how that would work. But if you're already in that mindset of digital only art and you're drawing as performance, then it makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what's going on from last week. All right. So we'll do some quick comments. I don't think... Oh yeah, it's just barely... it's just barely shown up. Okay, so here's March 25th, so that's today, right? So here's the cartoon for the 25th, but it just went out. It just went out in the US. So only one person has even seen it so far. Or, very, very little. But this was, they weren't quite sure why so many flavors, sizes, and colors were necessary. The mysterious packages of perhaps condoms. But yeah, that one hasn't gone out yet. So we'll go back. We'll hit that again next week and see the full reaction to that. So this was the 20th. Their chance meeting opened his mind to the endless possibilities of stapling. All right, and thereafter they were joined. Ouch! I thought of Jackass. Oh, nice. Yeah, stapling. Stapling yourself. Chance meeting. They met at Staples. Yeah, they're two very different types of staplers. All right, and if you... Oh, wait. Maybe I should have gone back. I can't remember. I think we did them last week. Let me see. But last week, maybe this one. Yeah, this one was very undercooked last week, and now it has three comments. A profound emptiness that makes me burp. All right, the conclusion of every name brand cola taste test is a shared feeling of profound emptiness. Profound emptiness that makes you burp. So you can come with us to change the world, or stay here and sell colored fizzy water. Steve Jobs to John Scully after Scully asked why he should leave Pepsi for Apple. Wow, that's a weird quote. Come with us to change the world. Yeah. Change the world. Fuck shit up. Wow. That's really weird. And why would Apple like want a Pepsi exec? That's, yeah, very funny. Definitely leaves me feeling drained. Nice. So these are some new commenters I haven't seen in a while. Nice. I'll just check the one before. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was the same. All right. A couple of random, hopefully non-Jello based. Nice. All right. Oh, here's an early one. A freaky mask. So for the rest of the year, the rubber mask tried to work on his inner beauty. Completely missed. 2014. Words on paper never felt the hollow desperation of needing to be clicked, viewed, or and shared. Ooh, needing the hollow desperation of need. No, they're clipped, photocopied, and circulated, and shredded. Bum bum. All right, 2009. He tried to be happy with mashed potatoes, but could only think of all the ice cream he was missing. Such a hard lesson to learn. There we go. There's somebody catching on to the profound mashed potato message there. Such a hard lesson to have to learn when in search of happiness. Nice. Oh no. 2020. This was definitely drawn on stream. Look at that thick line. Yeah, size would be good. Yeah, the number of outlets being the same is odd too. The more he worried about it, the harder it was to stay lit. Looks like he's burning it at both ends. It happens to all of us. All right, and one more. All right. Anytime was a bad time for dramatic purse dumping. I don't see anything embarrassing or unmentionable. Looks like the best time to. Oh wait, you want bad stuff if you're dumping it out on purpose, right? I failed Diva class. Sorry. Purse was sick of carrying all that boring stuff. Oh come on, women usually carry more than that in their purses. Everyone's criticizing my purse contents. Yeah. Right. A key, a piece of paper. Yeah, that's true. But I wasn't about to draw everything that could have been in that purse. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea too. Protection. Or it could be like a mafia thing, more like a mob thing, like the protection, it was a protection racket. They saw his protection as more of a racket than an actual yeah. I'll get there. All right. So and I said last one, and I am such a liar. Look at this. One more. 2007. Nothing. Oh, somebody actually bought this particular. He liked to think he made any situation feel a little more dangerous. I printed out for someone's office a huge, like A0, I think, size of this on a like a high quality color print. Yeah. So it's funny though, because this is a bit of an older style one. There's only one object on it. So when it's printed out, it seems like such a waste because it's mostly just white paper, and it looks really crazy like at that scale, because the drawing, you can see the drawing is very simple. The text and everything looked fine, but it looked very bleak and lonely. So I wonder, and I never saw like what that actually looked like hanging up. But yeah, when I printed it, it looked crazy. It looked very strange. Oh, hey, Chris. Take it easy. See you on Friday. Yeah, so if you want to listen to me and Chris going back and forth about a bunch of nonsense, yeah, Friday on the Upturned table, the weekly on the Upturned table, either Twitch or YouTube. All right, and yeah, it was just for an office. That was they were a fan of the cartoon, and they were doing a remodeling an office, and asked for the large print of that. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, that was frustrating. Definitely. This cartoon had I just got syndicated and kind of reached its kind of peak popularity, and so I was getting a lot of interaction and people asking about things or requesting things like original art and stuff from the website. But then I moved to Japan, so all of that was like incredibly hard or much more difficult to ship, and so half of my archives of the old drawings were still in the US, and yeah, it was very very frustrating to have that happen at the same time, because so I had to actually produce this. That's why it was a metric, kind of the European size for the poster, because I had to produce it for an American fan from Japan. So yeah, bad timing for everything. All right. Oh yeah. The Twitch, Twitch is weird. It didn't let me. I think Twitch is still Idle Red Hands for the URL hasn't switched over. Oh, and maybe even you're right though. Maybe even the YouTube, because they did that thing where it's tied to Google Plus, and Google Plus doesn't exist anymore. So I'll have to. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's switch back to the. There we go. Yeah, the URL. I think URLs for both, maybe Twitch and Twitch and YouTube, are still Idle Red Hands. Yeah, I've got to figure out how to create those accounts, like switch over the name and then request the direct URL again. It's very frustrating. Everybody's process is such a pain in the ass, and they don't make any of that easy. And just the directions for doing anything on YouTube, most of the time they seem like they're 2 generations old, where they're like, go here, do this, do this, do this, and so they'll give you a path of a menu, and none of that exists anymore. They change things so often, and it's such like random people doing it, that they can't provide any support. Their like official support or official knowledge base is so dated and so wrong all the time. It doesn't make any sense, because it's always talking about take your Google Plus account. It's like, what do you? I thought you discontinued Google Plus. Oh, thanks, Joe. Thank you. Yeah, much appreciated. Much better, much better promoting stuff. So yeah, that URL. So that's Chris and I. Talking about a little Gloomhaven from last week. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I have to. I did there was so much work in getting that switched over. There's still a few details, and I think a few like random graphics. I think sometimes the podcast shows the wrong graphic by default, but eventually that'll all get purged. That'll all get kicked out of the system. But we will see. Yeah, that was such a pain in the ass. But anyhow. All right, so we're writing some pie humor. So so the pot pie would definitely be like beef or chicken or something. So we can have the larger pie just be anything. Yeah, what is the... I guess just because it was probably cooked in a pot. Hmm. Yeah, right. Unknown girl. Yeah, exactly. That's the exact thing that I was feeling, because I don't think I ever had. I never used Google Plus. I had an account just because it was Google account, so it automatically like, creates that. But yeah, when you go through some of the older things for Google, they're like, use your Google Plus account and do this, and like, yeah, it's ridiculous that that's still, they haven't updated any of that stuff. Nice. Who would win a fight? Yes. Right. Yeah. So I got to have that URL, have them recreate that. What is it? Choose the custom URL again, because it's still idle red hands. But the old group of guys isn't producing any video content right now, so it's not hurting anybody, and they can put it up on that channel as well. It can just be branded, whatever they want. But yeah, they're not producing anything, so it's not causing any trouble so far. All right, eventually everything will be completely switched over. So Pi legitimacy, the I don't know. Pi some. So Pi filling. It wasn't. I don't know in what was inside. Or the pie like a joke about what was on the inside. Their filling being more. Yes, yeah, right. Yeah. The we talk about D&D and just about anything, board games and a bunch of stuff on Upturned table. Pot pie. Yeah, something about pot pies becoming legal. It was such a relief that now pot pies were legal in their state. Yeah. Google Plus is dead, but they still give, like, YouTube will still give instructions. Log into your Google Plus account, or it's this, if you want the name, if you want it the customized like URL, full name, or I think they call them like brand names or whatever. Your brand name is generated by your Google Plus account. It's like, no, no, that's not a thing. It's really amazing that when people were criticizing the whatever the Google gaming platform thing is called, the streaming game thing, somebody did a list of all the Google projects, like kind of their abandoned platforms and things, because they're basically just, when Facebook took off, then Google's like, oh, well, now we'll do Facebook, so let's do Google Plus. Or when anything has some success, Google just makes their knockoff version of it, and when it doesn't immediately become competitive or whatever, they just kill it, and it never takes off, so they just kill things like repeatedly. Like they were doing some kind of fake Second Life. I remember Google tried to do their own Second Life, and just like they do that for a while, it gets overrun and just abandoned. It's very bizarre. Oh wow, a fight over D&D. Yeah, that's interesting. There's some YouTube channel that reads, I forget what the subreddit is, but there's some subreddit of like nightmare D&D stories, and I guess it's just because of the social aspect of tabletop gaming, and you get some people that don't like each other that try to sit at a table and play like a social game together. But there's a lot of like really funny stories and a lot of like strange things that people try to like just torture each other with trying to sit around a table and play a stupid game. Yeah, it's funny. The pot pie. Pot pie had the munchies. So how much pot was in the pie? Let's see. Oh, the legality of was concerned about the legality of pot pies. Concerned about the legality. That might go over. That might not land. So what do they call it? Is it just legalized, right? It's not decriminalized. It's legalized. That's too goofy though. Is it too oh man. Yeah, that really sucks that you can have a blow up over a game. Oh, I think you're right. Unknown Girl is Google just tries to use their size, their resources. Like they have insane resources. They can just point a group of programmers or whatever at something and knock something off immediately. Yeah, it's becoming a real bad habit in the tech industry because Amazon was doing that. Amazon was just like, oh, let's just make games. Oh, let's make an MMO and let's do this. And so they just pointed a bunch of their resources, or hired. I guess they built a game studio and hired a bunch of people and said, make games, and then they just canceled everything. So I don't even know if there still is an Amazon game thing, but it's crazy. Oh, that's right. He's eyeing the pie as a like that that cartoon gag of seeing someone as a hamburger or a chicken leg, or making each other hungry, or I don't know if I can get the legality. The pot joke might not work completely because I'm not sure that's a great depiction of like what a pot pie looks like. It's been so long. That's like the KFC version, right? Because it could be like French onion soup. It's not particularly depicted well. But something about what they were filled with or what's inside might work. Nice. That was something that I saw just recently. How hard Google is affecting search results. I forget what somebody was searching. It was like, some conspiracy, kind of like UFOs or something. It was something that they wanted to control the I don't think it wasn't political, but they wanted to control the results of. And if you went on like DuckDuckGo or some other like kind of more neutral search engine, or just one that isn't curated as much, the results were totally different for the same search. So that's really weird how we don't realize it, but how like censored things have become. All right, filling, pie filling. So the main, something about like was found in their filling. something that's like ridiculous but trying to be profound. The something quality, the main quality, or one of those like the Yeah, I'll think of it. Was found in its filling. Something like that. The ridiculously immutable quality. The what is it? What am I thinking of? There's something, the inner quality, inner being feeling. What am I thinking of? The way you talk about, like, somebody when they do a biography of like a great historical figure or whatever, that something quality, intangible quality, the something. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Have the pot pie have steam coming out of the pot pie. Oh, okay. That's just going to be much funnier. Yeah, yeah. Their main concern, or the worry about the authenticity of the pot pie. Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. That would be pretty funny. Let's see how that looks. I put my pen away, but yeah, let's do some steam on the pot pie and see if how that reads. Whoa. Switch brushes here. Wow, I'm not getting any. Oh, because it was turned off. Oh, that's weird. Wasn't getting any pressure sensitivity because it was turned off. And now I'm getting too much. All right, and maybe blur that out and fade it a little bit. Oh, there it is. Yeah, something like that. He became about both the contents and legality of a pot pie. Let's see. There we go. Both the contents and legality of a pot pit pie. Back to the pot pie. I like the the idea of the steam coming off of it is good. Pot pit pie pie. Yeah, the contents and legality of a pot pie. Yeah, I don't know if I'm curious how that's gonna play. But I like the steam coming off of it being like questionable whether whether it's smoking. Is it pot pie smoke? Contents, the filling? I think contents and legality works better than, yeah. Okay, something like that. We'll come back if I can think. Oh, this isn't going to be any easier. So the number of outlets. So his surge protection as a racket. Yeah, so protection racket. If I break that up, maybe it's not going to be understandable. So it's his feelings when they referred to his long protection as a racket. Oops. Get this out of the way. Ass a racket. There's got to be a shorter. What happened? Everything got. There we go. I don't know how to do that. It hurt his feelings. Protection called a bracket. A surge protection racket. Oh, come on. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. They have the joke. Yeah, the gag is supposed to be surge. So like there is no need for it. It's just an unnecessary. It's fake protection, just like a protection racket when they go into like a local business and say you got to pay us money every week or something bad could happen to your shop. It hurt his feelings. Yeah, is there something missing with the number of with the number of outlets being the same? I think that's going to be as good as I can do with the. I like that. Yeah, the idea of protection racket being electricity based as well. Something like that. Yeah, so is there a better... It hurt his feelings. Okay, so yeah, he looks sad, so we know whose feelings are hurt. To have his surge protection called a racket. Yeah. I think that makes enough sense. There's nothing kind of missing from that. But I guess if you don't know, racket might not make sense if you don't get the protection racket, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays. All right. Pot pie. Read about both the contents and legality of the and why it was smoking. the cannibalism of pie cannibalism. All right. Contents and legality. Yeah, I mean, legality makes it obvious enough what the joke, or what the pun is. Yeah, that's better, I think, than the filling thing. I don't think that works very well. Read about both the contents and legality of a pot pie, or the ingredients. No, contents, I think, works. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do much better than that. Yeah, my cheese is good, but I haven't done that yet, where I've kind of broke the reality, so that they are actually like anthropomorphic things, so that they do something other, like they do something biological. So like, just because it has eyes, that it eats and sleeps and talks and things. I guess I have alluded to them communicating, but yeah, I'm trying to think. My cheese is good. What? I'm trying to figure out how to get there. I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's gonna. Yeah, pot pie increasing their appetite. So we got worry and sad. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think I've done that. It's always emotional. So I guess there's communication between the like inanimate objects, but there's no. It's always, if something's been eaten or done, it's like people that have done it, and so the objects are just affected by that. Yeah, because I don't know if I've ever made them hungry. Like, ever made something in a cartoon hungry before. What increases appetite? Right. Yeah. Do edibles give you the munchies? Or is it just smoking? Because if you're already, I guess if you ate it and then it would take time for it to have an effect. Yeah, I haven't ever done edibles before, and I've always heard horror stories about that's the easiest way to kind of get too high, so you get like you get paranoid and freaked out by how high you are. Like when people call the 911 and said I'm dying because they've ingested too much pot, it's always edibles, and I don't know why that is. Yeah, but I guess it's harder to dose. It's harder to dose, and also depending on like how you've mixed something into a brownie or a cookie or whatever, you can't always know exactly the dose. How much you're consuming. Yeah, I became worried by both the contents and legality of a pot pie. or of the pot pie. Might be better because it's just this specific one. Legality. Contents. Yeah, it does. The big pie does look like just a big turkey. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's harder to. I think we're dying. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, that's the stories. Yeah, stories I've always heard about people really freaking out on pot is always edibles. And I think because you can't slow it down, like you just have to let. Yeah, because I think when you're smoking, like you can kind of you can get too high, but once you start to feel it, you don't keep going, and you have no control over that when you're just digesting it. So just like you have to let whatever you put into your body get all the way through, and I guess it absorbs differently, so it hits you in a different way. Oh man, about the contents and legality of the pot pie. I think we're dying. Why would you call the police? Yeah, that's funny though, because that's just become like a standard thing, like especially with all the overdosing, like the opiate abuses and overdosing. People are just calling. I think my girlfriend or boyfriend is overdosing, so that people are just calling the police constantly about ODing. But I guess, oops. I guess that gets an ambulance to you. But yeah, that's funny. Oh, come on. That's weird. It's not letting me select things very easily. Yeah, the composition is okay, and they're not looking at him, so they're trying to ignore him. So it hurt his feelings to have his surge protection called a racket, and he became worried about both the contents and legality of the pot pie. Yeah. Oh, nice. Would alter his mind. Nice. Yeah, right. Because why? Yeah, why did he become? What made him worry? I guess this, the smell of the pot pie. Like, what would make him worry? Yeah. I think that's all I'm gonna be able to get away with, as far as making the connection. Because I think that kind of breaks. That breaks the rule, the idea of like what can happen in this world, because nothing eats anything. It just, they just kind of interact. I think I'll just go with that. Yeah, that's good. Altered his mind. Yeah, I'm wondering too. Yeah, I don't know, because I have had have had cartoons censored before, mostly for language, but I've never had it for content. So we'll see. I don't want to. Yeah, I want to go too explicit. It's just kind of a pun or a reference, just to be sure, because they may actually. I'm not sure, because the syndicator is based in like Kansas City, I think. So I'm not sure what their reaction. But I'll leave it a little bit more vague and generic, just in case they'll censor me for drug references, because I don't think I have made any references before. Yeah, I don't think just cigarettes. I think just alcohol and cigarettes. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. And we'll get down to yeah. That's good. Thank you, Hypno. That's some good stuff. Yeah, very fun to all your input is really good, really inspiring. All right, well, let's get down to the weird convenience store item of the week. Where are we here? Boom. All right. Oh, I didn't turn on my big light. I'm kind of in the shadows. Okay, let's see if this gets scary or not. Whoa. There we go. Oh, hey, sorry about that. Yeah, I've been kind of in the dark this week. Yeah, I thought it was doing okay. All right, so here we have the high protein, 10 grams of protein, and dashi flavored, so kind of like a soup stock flavor, which usually means fish flakes, right? So yes. So here, yeah, see, these just like peel apart. There's like a film. I better move my keyboard just in case it actually is a little drippy. There we go. All right. Yeah, this is really unappealing. But yeah, this is what the chicken does too. You just kind of peel it apart, and this doesn't look very wet. It's a little juicy. You can maybe see. No, you can't. Yeah, a little bit wet. Now this is kind of warm, room temperature tofu. I don't know how good this is going to be, but there we go. Yeah, it's formed in this shape. It's not actually cut. It looks like it was actually like formed in this little bar shape. So wish me luck here. Let's see how this goes. It's really hard. It's almost like the consistency of a fish cake or one of those pressed. Wow, it's not. So Japanese tofu is usually really soft, and sometimes you can't. It's very difficult to pick up with chopsticks, and sometimes even with a spoon, it'll fall apart, especially if it's in soup or something. They have rougher, like more coarse, and then there's more refined, like more creamy tofu. This is really bizarre. It's really hard. I mean, I guess that makes it won't fall apart. Like some tofu, if it was this thin and you open the package, it would just boom. It would just fall in half. So I guess I had to make it more dense, so you could have it like a bar. And I really think this is meant to be eaten like a bar, because they don't really. The ingredients are kind of hinting at salad, or the image is kind of hinting that the ingredients are vegetables, as well as the flavor. I guess the flavor is a vegetable soup flavor. But they're not saying like this is meant to be put on top of a salad. I think this is just meant to be eaten. Yikes. So it does taste a little like soup stock. Yeah. Oh, it definitely. It has the dashi flavor. So dashi, this is usually made from the bonito, the fish. The fish flakes are cooked down and make the what Japanese call dashi, the soup stock. So this definitely, that has that smell. So it's basically a soup stock flavored. What was the other one? I think the other flavor was just vegetable. But I guess they made it heavier. So it tastes more like when they're trying to imitate meat with tofu. You know how they have barbecue ribs or whatever that are meatless. It's more like that. The texture is not so tofu, like it's pretty hard pressed. It's really dense. I don't know how you can see that, but it's really, really dense. So it doesn't taste like tofu at all. It's very much like a beans used to simulate something else. Yeah, it's okay. The flavor is not great. And the consistency is really tough. Not tough, but for tofu, it's pretty hard. And dry, too. So I was worried it would be very juicy. But it's very dry. So I'm not sure. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, tofu, some people, my father, that was the only food. When he came to Japan, he could eat everything. But tofu was the only thing he didn't like. Because it doesn't have much flavor. It's very kind of neutral. It doesn't have much flavor. But it's a really good, like, protein replacement in a lot of, it is the go-to for protein if you're vegetarian. Or just try not to eat meat. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the rest of this. So it's okay. Tofu bar. This is really hard. I'm surprised. I guess I could have felt the package and realized that. But it's so very rubbery. But it's not... I would definitely prefer the chicken if you don't mind the ethical questions of commercial chicken farming. But the chicken is much more pleasant to eat than this. This is really, it's like chewing on a very rubbery, strange thing. I don't know. So this is new. I haven't seen it before. Oh, and I don't recognize that company either. Let's just make sure everything is coming from Japan. Yes, it is. Okay. I don't want to be eating Chinese tofu. Wow. No, I should. Yeah, out of 10. Well, this is, I don't know. It's convenient. It's good to, instead of the, like those meal replacement, like Calorie Mate or whatever, like Soy Joy. Instead of those like kind of dessert flavored calorie bars. So out of 10, it's, so it's edible, not very pleasant, 4. It's probably a 4 out of 10. So if you really needed something to fill your stomach and didn't want to eat something that was just, some kind of trashy, empty calories, it's better than that, but you definitely feel like you're punishing yourself for eating. Yeah, I need to have some, and then I need to have some graphics for the rating. Yeah, I could actually do that in this scene. I could have just like, I could stack a bunch of graphics and turn them off and just turn it on. Yeah, so I think that's a 4. It's not. So last week was like a 9. The buttery peanut chocolate balls. That was like a 9. That was completely enjoyable. There was nothing wrong with a good quantity. It's probably going to be limited, so wonderful to enjoy while you can. This is probably going to be around forever. It's probably going to be a standard thing next to the chicken forever. And I don't think I'm ever going to be hungry for this or say, oh, this will be a good idea for lunch. Even if you cut it up and like try to put it in salad or on top of some noodles or something, it's pretty rough. I really do think it's meant to be eaten just like I did, like just right out of the package. Ugh. Yeah, that's a 4. Yeah, right, but more like string cheese. Yeah, Joe, that's a good comparison. Hypno says -1. It's off the chart bad. Yeah, the especially how hard pressed this is. It does have the quality, like you couldn't peel it like string cheese, but it has that quality of the processed cheese. Very odd. And the flavor was real weak. So not interesting enough to make it, so very, because of the calories are so low, it was just maybe like a very mild, like, it was dipped in something, a very mild coating. It just absorbed a little bit of the flavor. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless you're hardcore, well, then this isn't even vegetarian because it was, there's a little bit of fish stock used to make that. Oof. But yeah. That's a disappointment. I was hoping that would be a nice thing to use as a backup for but still, I think the chicken is better. The chicken breast is much better. And plus they have like the barbecue actually has a nice flavor. The herb and lemon Actually, that's a nice flavor that the chicken has. It's just cold. That's the only thing. It's just, cold chicken. But oof. Okay, so tofu bar, not great. But it wasn't repellent. Like it wasn't like I wasn't gagging over it. It's just a chore to chew. Not very appetizing. So if you don't like yourself and you're trying to lose weight, I think that's the lunch for you. Self-loathing in a bean, a fermented bean bar. Yeah, that's an odd one. So sorry about that. I was hoping that was going to be better. But last week, let's just remember last week, and what a happy surprise a buttery peanut chocolate ball was. Oh man, yeah, that's really funny. And it is funny how hit or miss a lot of the snacks and stuff are here, because the thinking is odd. Like there's definitely traditional chefs and Japanese aesthetics for flavors and textures and things. But then there's also like laboratories. I think there's also people in laboratories that just say this would be an easy, convenient source of protein. And it doesn't take into account any of the kind of unpleasant nature of chewing that. Yeah, it's very dry. So you'd have to be drinking and eating that at the same time. And even maybe if you dipped it in something and like, tripled the calories, it might be a little better, but it's just too dry. So I don't know it doesn't say any application like for recommended use. I think it's supposed to just be a bar of tofu. Oh man. So I'm just doing a quick spell check. Oh, well, a disappointment. I'll try to go for something. Hopefully we can do beer snacks. Beer snacks next week. Yeah, it's very ominous shadowing above me here. Oh yeah, soup would be better, and they don't reference that. But yeah, if you warmed it up, and if it was allowed to get a little more, if some liquid, if it was just less dry, it'd probably be much better. Yeah, because the even the instant miso soup and those things it's like a dried cube, like they just like freeze, or they just super like dry. It's not frozen, but they dry out, dehydrate. That's the word I'm looking for. They dehydrate like soup paste and a bunch of veggies and stuff in a little block. You put that in hot water and it just like turns like right back to really close to like a fresh kind of cooked texture. So but the tofu in those is really nice and tender and silky and delicious. Yeah. So that's just an odd thing. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I think you're right, Joe. If you cook that a little bit and let something else kind of loosen it up a bit, I think it would be much better. Because it's just too pressed and too dry. And then the temperature of it, colder may have been better and warmer is better. That room temperature is disgusting. It doesn't have any there's nothing good about that at all, except for the low amount of calories. So it's one of those like torture foods. They have a lot of those weird diet foods in Japan where it's just like a tube or a pouch of jelly made from radishes or beets or whatever, and it's just supposed to like fill your stomach and like suppress your appetite. It doesn't give you any nutrition. It doesn't give you any calories. Yeah, it's very empty. So it's one of those things. They have some diet stuff here that's a bit like that. There's no pleasure in it. It's just to try to get rid of your appetite impulse, your hunger response. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, miso soup is good, and there's so many kinds of miso here. There's so many different like regional varieties. Like there's like white and red miso, but in between that there's like sharper and smoother and different flavors. which is really good. Yeah, that's a really nice thing. Yeah, the quality of the seafood and the tofu and miso and soy sauce and seaweed, like all the Japanese ingredients are insanely good. Like if you've had those in a restaurant or in dishes in a Japanese restaurant before, like you probably had okay quality, like whatever you can get imported. But the Japanese quality of a lot of the food stuff is amazing. But a lot of it comes at a really premium price too. It can become ridiculously expensive because it's produced in such small amounts. All right. Oh, wait. I didn't. So, yeah. I think I made an extra large version of that. Sorry. I'm trying to save these images, and I made a giant version. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. There we go. Wow. Well, sorry to end that on such a coarse tofu note. Yeah. That's good. Oh no, yeah, I didn't accidentally delete it. I just didn't resize it. I didn't do my little shortcut. I've got a little action tied to the function key that does the resizing. It flattens and resizes it. And I forgot to do that. I just saved it as I just made a very large JPEG, which I don't think they're gonna appreciate if I try to upload that. Yeah, I've done that sometimes where I've overwritten, like I will delete like all the artwork to make the new image because I want to keep the formatting the same so the text and everything stays the same. And sometimes I'll delete it and then save it. So I just saved basically I deleted the artwork and saved over it. So it's just a blank cartoon kind of template. I've done that a few times. Yeah, but usually I have a backup of stuff, so I don't think I've lost anything. But that makes it particularly easy because that's the original. Like the digital file is just the original. So if I make some mistake in saving, like that just deletes the original, which is insane. Man, it's crazy that can happen. Oh, all right. Well, there we go. Oh, sorry. That's not gonna work. I can't set this down either. Oh, man. Yeah, I just didn't get it to be the right size. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if I sent them because it needs to be like 600 by whatever. The width is just limited to 600. If I sent them a giant file, I think or maybe it would the system would just like do that kind of cruddy resize, just like when HTML, like when in HTML when things are resized, it doesn't resample anything. It just kind of crushes it down. It probably would look like that. Again. Oh man. Oh, my copy of Chris isn't back. But yeah, my copy of Dune showed up, so I'll do an unboxing of that tonight or tomorrow. Maybe I'll just record it instead of doing a live stream. I don't know. We'll see how much energy I've got. But yeah, so finally, they sent an email because it was supposed to be here last month. Yeah, end of last month, end of April. And I guess it was stuck on stuck in the blockade of or the accidental blockade of the Suez Canal. So it was on one of those cargo ships because it's a British company and they printed it in China. So it was coming from China to the UK and it got stuck. So they literally said it's going to be a month late. So those 5 days that backed up, those 300 some ships ended up slowing down that book by a month. That's crazy. That's how delicate. Yeah, how delicate that is. Oh, cool. Oh, Hypno. Yeah, take care. Nice. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad to have you around. Yeah, and thank you so much for your input. That's really fun, and I love the kind of back and forth and kind of thinking through stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm glad I gave you something to relax with. But yeah, take care, and hopefully I'll see you around see you around on Friday. But yeah, this is a little bit late stream, so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, take care and have a good night. Nice. Oh, Go Comics. Yeah, so gocomics.com / domestic abuse is the page, like the archive of everything. So yeah, just Go Comics is the syndicator. Yeah, so when I do if you go back to the comments section, when I do the comments on the live stream, in the little URL bar is gocomics.com / domestic abuse. Yeah, I think it's in the text too. It's in the description below the stream. Am I lying? Is it there? I'm looking at the wrong one. God damn. Oh no, I'm not. That's weird. I posted the wrong. Oh no, it's not. It's just a bunch of random stuff. Yeah, it's there under the Twitter. No, I linked it wrong. Oh, there's some extra stuff there. God damn. I'm really doing great with the links. Yeah, oh yeah, I cut it off. That's weird. I don't understand why. I think it's just YouTube that does that. If I'm like copying and pasting between like the website info and then YouTube, and sometimes it'll just do an ellipses. It'll cut off a URL and just do ... I'm not sure which side that's happening on. Yeah, I got a couple of these URLs that did that. That's really bizarre. Yeah, the YouTube channel is wrong for the Nmity Stories. Yeah, it just does this hyphen. Weird. Very weird. Oh well. Yeah, I guess because they're expecting you to just use the shorteners, the URL shorteners. Shit. So editing it here is not going to do anything. I think it's in. Oh, Restream probably does that. That's what it is. Yeah, when I'm updating the data in Restream. Yes, that's where it's happening. Okay, so I'll fix that for next time. Yeah, below the Twitter. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice. Oh, cool. I'm ending shortly. I think it's getting to be dinner time. I gotta go pick up some family. So yeah. So I'll be wrapping stuff up. So yeah, the archive is listed below the Twitter, and I just updated the URL so it's not broken. That's so bizarre. I'll go through and fix that. But yeah, so don't eat convenience store tofu bars unless you have some way to cook them, because they're really terrible cold. All right, but yeah, everybody, thanks again for joining me, and this is a really fun thing to do together. So it's good, good to see Unknown Girl and Hypno, Joe, K5 as always, and Chris. Yeah, thanks Chris for stopping by, and Chris and I will be doing the weekly on Upturned Table. So if this is the first time you're watching the stream, I don't know why I should do this at the beginning too, shouldn't I? First time to watch the stream, the website for this cartoon is abusecartoons.com, and then on Twitter, abusecartoons. If you want to see the archive, gocomics.com / domestic abuse, and the Patreon for this cartoon is patreon.com / abusecartoons. And yeah, there's some other stuff that I've been working on in the description. The Nmity Stories, the I think Citizen Spaceman might be there too, and then of course Upturned Table. But we'll do this again. Yeah, I'll take care of that, Joe. Thanks. Yeah, it shortened. Some of the URLs got shortened. I'll go through and finish them off. Something is only allowing so many characters, and then everything over that it just goes dot dot, which breaks the URL because it's just auto converted in YouTube. So yeah, take care, everybody. Good to see you, Joe, and appreciate always you putting links and stuff in the chat. That helps a lot because I'm very half-assed about that. So yeah, thank you, Joe, as always. So take care, everybody. Get some good sleep and take care of yourselves. Yeah, I think things are kind of easing up a lot more in North America than they are here. So enjoy that. I hope we'll be where you guys are soon. So I will see you next week. So do this every day around this time, a little bit later start than usual. But yeah, I think this, like Monday night, Tuesday in Japan is going to be the new day for a while, at least this semester. It's a semester-based live stream. And I will see you all then. So take care, everybody. And I will remember to end the stream when I flip to the outro. Yes. End the stream. Thank you, Hypno. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Goodbye.